2.5 months ago, President Trump nominated Judge Kavanaugh to be an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. After taking a hard look at his record, I said that I would not be voting for Mr. Kavanaugh. And the reason for that is that it is absolutely clear to me that if seated, Kavanaugh would become part of the extreme right-wing majority on the Supreme Court, a majority that has and will continue to rule against the needs of women, of workers, of the environment, of campaign finance reform, and all of the other very important issues that are coming before that court. So for a start, based on his record, based on his views, it was clear to me that Judge Kavanaugh should not be seated on the United States Supreme Court. Now, what we have since learned is that there is a real question about Judge Kavanaugh's veracity. And that's what we have learned in recent hearings and other disclosures. Even before the sexual assault allegations, it was evident that Kavanaugh lied to the United States Senate about a number of things. And that is when he testified before the committee. And he has possibly lied to the Senate repeatedly over the course of the past decade. Members of the public have not been allowed to see the vast majority of the documents from his time working for the Bush administration. What are the Republicans afraid of? Why are they afraid to allow the public to see the role that Kavanaugh played in the Bush administration? Further, he misled the Senate Judiciary Committee about receiving information from stolen emails 15 years ago. He was not forthcoming about any role he may have played in the debate over torture. He claims, despite it being an open secret, that he had no idea that his mentor and friend was sexually harassing his employees. And all of that was before we learned about the recent allegations from 3 credible witnesses, women who have come forward with incredible courage, fully knowing that their character, their lives are going to be assaulted. Terrible, terrible things are going to be said about them. Their lives will never be the same because of their willingness to come forward and say what they did about Judge Kavanaugh. Trump and Judge Kavanaugh have 2 options. Number 1, Trump can say, I am withdrawing Judge Kavanaugh's nomination because I am concerned about what I heard. Or secondly, Kavanaugh himself can say, you know what? These allegations are not true. And I want the FBI to do a thorough investigation to discredit them. Those seem to be the 2 options that we face. What I worry about right now is we have Chuck Grassley, who's the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, trying to rush this thing through without the kinds of investigation that is desperately needed, that the American people want. Chairman Grassley, what are you afraid of? What is the hurry? Why can't we do an FBI investigation to determine the veracity, the truthfulness of what 3 women said? What's the problem with that? And here's what I worry. If the Republicans rush this thing through, if they do a vote this Friday, which as of this minute is the current plan, if they force a vote in the full Senate over the weekend or on Monday, and if Kavanaugh gets seated throughout the rest of his career on the court, people will be looking at this Supreme Court justice and saying, who are you? Why didn't you have the courage to be honest with the American people and allow an investigation of some very serious allegations against you? Is that the kind of justice we want on the Supreme Court? I think not.